This is Rob Temple for Boxing Social. I'm here with former WBO light middleweight champion of the world, Liam Beefy Smith. We're here at BT Sports Tower and it's moving. How are you, Liam?
I'm good, mate. You?
I'm very well, thank you. Very well. First time I've actually interviewed you, so it's nice.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's all new things.
So yeah, just a little catch up, really. Last time we saw you in the ring was against Jaime Munguia. When can we expect to see you in the ring again?
Yeah, I've had a bit of a meeting today with Frank, and I'm back in the gym. I want to be out before Christmas, so Frank's given me either the 8th or the 22nd of December, so I'll be on one of the two big shows he's got in December.
One of the two big shows in December. We know one of them's Josh Warrington and Cole Frampton. Is there another one that we don't know about?
Yeah, there is. I'm not sure myself. He said the 8th or the 22nd, so I've asked him, have you got both dates? And he said, yeah, I've got the 8th as well, so...
Okay, fantastic. Well, we look forward to that. As mentioned, last time we saw you in the ring was against Jaime Munguia. Very competitive fight, very entertaining fight. Now you've had a little bit of time to look back on it. What did you assess? How did you assess your performance?
Good in parts and bad in parts. Obviously, the bad parts are what I've got to try and put my finger on why they went that way. And the good parts was something I always knew I could do to Jaime Munguia. I just couldn't sustain that, and I'm not sure why. Obviously, I've never ever been one for lacking fitness or work rate, especially down the stretch, and I did in that fight for some reason. But a few things behind the scene played its part. I never got to Vegas till the Tuesday and fought on the Saturday, which weren't the best preparation. But I have to learn from that and move on. I'm not going to sit and cry over it and dwell on it. I need to move on and force my way back into a position to fight one of them champions again.
Now you mentioned that you potentially faded a little bit down the stretch in that fight. You've been a career 154 pounder. You've had a couple of instances where you've been tight at the weight. I think one occasion that you missed the weight. Has that got anything to do with it? Is that a case of potentially outgrowing the division?
It could in a part, but I have to assess that now for this next camp. But beforehand, I had thoughts that I might move to middle sooner rather than later. And how I done the weight for the Jaime Munguia fight, I done the weight very, very well. So it convinced me, no, you're still 154. But obviously deep down, there's a few things I could put my finger on what it may have been. So I can't just put my finger and say, you know what, it is the weight. Getting to Vegas Tuesday and fighting Saturday is not ideal for anyone. Not fighting for 10 months. I pulled out of the Saddam Ali fight. I hadn't fought since I fought Liam Williams in November. That's a long time out the ring. So kind of like a footballer with match fitness. I was very fit beforehand and I was in very, very good shape beforehand. But being in the ring, throwing punches and taking punches was a different story because I've never been one to like, not hold. I kind of hold myself back in the middle rounds and the late rounds, and around 7, 8, 9 I thought Munguia was feeling the pace massively and I couldn't put my foot to the floor. As much as I weren't tired out on your feet about to get stopped tired, I was tired from my own. Usually I can keep my foot to the pedal and keep pressing and I've had a few 7, 8 round stoppages in the past and it could have been on the cards there, but I just didn't have it in the tank to keep pressing.
Do you think anything of that had to do with Munguia's weight? I mean, he's a big 154 pounder. Did that play a factor at all?
Could have, and it couldn't have. I'm going to say it didn't because I'm a big enough 154 pounder anyway. He was tall. Besides the natural punch power what he's got, he weren't a stronger fighter than I was. Especially inside. I thought you are a 21-year-old boy when I was pushing and moving, but also then his punch power was a little bit obviously what you're born with, you know what I mean, and that was not. He's a stronger fighter than me. He was just born with. He punches harder, you know what I mean, and you get them fighters. Tony Bellew didn't have a muscle to his name in the amateurs and was knocking people fast asleep. People are born with that, and Munguia was one of them.
Now you've obviously shared the ring with Canelo Alvarez. What was the difference between the two? Munguia is sort of the latest in a long conveyor belt of Mexican fighters tipped for superstardom, really. What was the difference between the two in the ring?
Canelo was a class act, like levels and levels above in ability and boxing IQ and, ring awareness, general, everything. Canelo was... I'd probably even... When I say Canelo hit harder, I'm maybe being a little bit naive, not naive, I'm being a little bit harsh on Munguia, but what I mean by that is Canelo with more gaps than Munguia hit. Munguia still had the speed of man, but would try and punch through my guard, where Canelo would try to pick every hole in my defence, and that was the difference. Canelo hit me well more flush than Munguia hit me. You know, Munguia was just punching through the guard and top of the head, whereas Canelo hit me and marked me up more, if you know what I mean, and that was the difference of the two. Canelo was just 1, 2, 3 steps ahead of Munguia.
Now the fight obviously didn't end up the way you would have liked, but I think it's fair to say that your reputation remains intact after that fight against Munguia. You enjoyed a lot of success throughout the fight. How important is it for you now to sort of jump back into things and really continue that and not dwell on the loss?
It's massive for me, you know. I'm just saying 30 again, but you know, people who tell me I can't compete at that level, you know, can do one really. I've sparred European champions at my weight and the weight above, and you know, just going off that, I know I'm well above European class. So even Munguia, I'll probably get slagged for saying it. I'd absolutely love a rematch with him next. Do you know what I mean? No, with the first fight, even if my last fight weren't Munguia, if I'd fought July, I'd love the Munguia fight December. You know, with a fight in the bank rather than a long time out the ring. And you know, I still can't let people tell me he's a better fighter than me. It still won't sink in. You know, I think obviously everything on that night worked in his favour, but I know for a fact I can beat Jaime Munguia on a different night, definitely.
So it sounds to me like it's kind of like the success that you had in that fight makes the defeat a little bit harder to take than, say, the Canelo-Alvarez fight, where, by your own admission, Canelo was a far better fighter. Yeah,
definitely. Canelo was a better fighter and too good for me in that sense. He's an elite, you know, count on one hand how many fighters as good as him. But with that fight, my confidence came from weight. I thought he'd be dead at the weight, and I just thought I'm tough enough to last. I'll break him down the straight, and it never happened that way, and that's fine. I can take that, I can live with that. I know he's a better fighter, but the Munguia one, I know the success I had, I could do that for 12 with him, no matter how much he come. But that's what is frustrating me over the Munguia fight. If I lost to Munguia, I'd take it the same way I lost to Canelo. They're raving about him. I'd say I lost to a good kid, an up and coming superstar, but it was just the thing I lacked. I've never lacked in any other fight, and I've always been spoken about. I do that stuff well. You know, especially after round 6, I'm known for kicking on late, and I can keep my foot to the floor, and I couldn't do it in that fight for some reason, and that's what frustrated me. If I'd done that and lost, I'd say, you know, I lost to a good kid there, but with me not doing that, I still left a bitter pill to swallow.
Now you mentioned expecting Canelo to fade down the stretch. Well documented Canelo's out of the ring activities, should we say, with the doping scandal. Is there any part of you that kind of looks back to that fight and wonders?
Everyone will wonder. I've had people say it, but for me, I'm being a little bit, what can I put it? Just being without nailing Canelo again, you know what I mean? I just have to look at it as, he never got caught when I fought him. He beat me because he was a better fighter, you know what I mean? And if it comes out in years to come, I'll say, you know, I was wrong and you did cheap. But you know, he done drug tests after the fight with me, and whether he mastered it well or what, I don't know. I firmly believe he's failed this one, and he's been caught, and he was cheating. But for the likes of me and Amir Khan and past fighters, we have to just swallow and just think he beat us because he was better fighters than us.
Okay, and just finally, because I know you're waiting for your cab, Canelo, Golovkin tomorrow, rematch. First of all, what did you make of the first fight? And second of all, how do you see the rematch going tomorrow?
First fight was unbelievable. Two very, very good fighters. Unbelievable in both what they done, not unbelievable in a slugfest. And I just think the rematch will be along the same lines. I thought Golovkin just nicked the first one, a couple of rounds, and I think he'll do the same again. Along the same lines as the fight last time. Canelo will start well, he'll look very good in parts, but Golovkin's, you know, style and the animal in him, he'll take over, and he fights when Canelo wants his rest, and I think he wins this one, Golovkin.
Okay, well, Liam Smith, thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social. It's a shame you've got to get your cab, because I think this could have gone a little bit longer. Look forward to catching up with you soon. Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thanks for having me. Nice one.
Cheers.